The experience of working with you was in so many ways transformational for me, worth every penny, right? Like I'd spend it over and over and over again. I have no regrets. I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. But what I came out with it was a clearer sense of myself and an almost peace with the various parts of myself that were in total conflict before working with you. But I find that I'm more peaceful, I'm more confident, I'm more in tune with my own self, and I protect myself, and I'm able to better show up for other people as a result of knowing that and sort of knowing my boundaries, if that makes sense. Like I'm sort of the only one that can protect how I feel. I'm the only one in charge of my own feelings, and that means that I'm in charge of how I react in certain situations and what I take in and what becomes mine. So there's a better, easier, more natural way that I'm sort of examining what's happening around me and better able to sort of separate and be like, that's not mine to take on, right? Like I feel you, I'm showing up here for you, I'm supporting you, I'm loving you through it, but like, that's not mine. I'm not going to carry it, right? I've spent the better part of 40 years carrying as an empath, as a, type 2, like Enneagram 2, right? Like I'm a nurturer. That's what I do. So that was extremely transformational.
So Tracy, tell me, what was going on in your life before working with me?
I was feeling really stuck in my corporate job and at a bit of a crossroads, trying to determine what was next.
And how were you feeling at the time?
Frustrated, stuck, unsure how to move forward, tired.
What kind of led you to maybe wanting to work with me, and were there any hesitations or kind of things you weren't sure about when thinking about working with me?
A friend of mine highly recommended you, and you had helped her unstick, and so much so that she was brave enough to quit her corporate job and launch her own amazingly successful business. And she spoke very highly of you being sort of a pivotal, critical component of that evolution and journey. And that friend is someone that I deeply trust. So that was sort of the tipping point for me. I think I needed to be ready to receive you and the kind of work you were going to force me to do, the kind of questions you were going to throw my way. But things that stick, that I continue to practice, that I continue to even preach, to be totally honest. I did this with my best friend and my sister yesterday. Energy bubble, like really, really, really transformational for me. And both in my own life, really in somewhat of a like trivial way, like, oh, someone's having a meltdown right outside the door and I'm not going out there, or someone's having a meltdown and another person in my family has flipped now and I'm not interested in sitting down for dinner with those two while they're in that state. So what do I need and what choice do I have? That's tricky as an adult in the family, by the way, I found. That's a weird example when you get up from the table, you're like, I'm not sitting here for dinner tonight. I'm going to be going in my room by myself. I think this sort of idea that, within your own self, things can be in conflict. And within your own self, there is work to do similar to how you would do it if two people were fighting. I remember, exercises you and I did, right? Where I'm literally hands out having conversations with myself. And one of the sort of, not mantras, but one of the things I am telling myself and other people around me often is there is space for both. One does not have to win. There is space for both. Both can be true. Is something I'm repeating on the regular to myself and to others. So there's space for both. I can want to find my new path, my new career journey, and want so much of those aspects and relish family life right now. And the pause, the beauty in the pause, the beauty in the struggle that is not knowing. And I think for me, those things have been life-changing, truly, like transformational, totally changing how I'm approaching my world, my opportunities, my relationships, my friendships. So what did I walk away with? I walked away with a better sense of myself, better appreciation for what happens when I slow down, a deeper comfort in myself and the power that I hold, and sort of the trusting my decision-making process and when it will come. What I don't know that I realized before working with you is that my mind was congested. My mind was cluttered. So to get even some aspect of order and clarity, I feel like we cleaned out the pantry in there a little bit. Everyone would benefit from working with you. Everyone. The work that I did with you was so good for me in the moment that I was in, right? And I think it was so unique to me. And I imagine every person you work with, their journey is unique. Like everybody's different. Everybody, like you're helping all sorts of people through all sorts of stuff. I would say that you're not some crystal ball, let me show you the way. But you are, in a sense, some sort of wizard that helps clear the path so you can do your own work. And the sorcery that happens, will sort of, for me, quite literally kind of brought me to my knees at times, right? It was like, what just happened? I wasn't prepared for that, right? Like I was like thinking that working with you would sort of be, naively thought like, oh, working with you would be like working with another career coach, Ellie, right? And you're so much more than that. But I mean that in like the most complimentary way that I could articulate it, right? Which is, life is complicated and life is, throws you curveballs, and you rolled with all those punches I threw at you. And my journey was not like A to B. We went all over the place, and you rolled with me, and you sometimes had to play more of a therapist than you probably wanted to. And sometimes you were more career coach, and sometimes you were some other wizard, but like you put on all sorts of different hats, and you never made me feel weird about any of that. You sort of just met me where I was. And I think you were, in hindsight, like such a beautiful model of that energy bubble, right? Like you clearly care about other people. You clearly get energy from other people. You clearly are doing this. This is what you're doing. As your life's work, it would be so easy to take on everyone's like journey, everyone's heartbreak, everyone's, bring you to your knees moments. And every time it just sort of felt like you had nothing else going on, right? Like it was all me. You were focused, you were in it with me. It was like my mom had this saying, like, hold on tight and, ride the roller coaster. And that's exactly what I felt like. You and I were in the front row, holding hands, strapped in, going through it. And I will say, like, just like, there's no better feeling than not feeling alone, right? Especially when you're like, I don't know where the fuck we're going. I don't know what this roller coaster is. And I don't really like roller coasters that much, right? Like to have someone that you're like, it's going to be okay. I got you. It's not an easy journey. And there's not even a guarantee that you're going to come out with like intense clarity on exactly what you in this moment think you want clarity on. I started with you wanting clarity on my job, and I got clarity on myself, right? But like, I'm grateful that I have better clarity on who I am and what I need and how to approach my next stuff and all the people in my life so that I can be open to whatever the next job is. I just, it's been such a rat race for so long. I'm clear, and I'm, basking in all the tools that you showed me and shared, and grateful that you practice what you preach so that, we all can learn from it.